Hey everybody, Slick Reviews coming at you with another video. In this episode we're taking a look at some really nice full grain leather cases for the Samsung S23 Ultra from Blackbrook. Hey everybody, so on this episode we're taking a look at some really cool full grain leather cases for the Samsung S23 Ultra from Blackbrook. Now they do all of these for the iPhone models as well, and all of the different Samsung, like the whole S23 series. The ones we have are for the S23 Ultra because that's what I have to demo them for you here. But again, they make all of these for the whole S23 line, and a lot of these are available on the iPhone as well. On my 14 Pro Max, I'm still using this tan one from Blackbrook. That's my daily driver right now. But again, all of these are for the S23 Ultra. So first we're going to take a look at the one that's called the York. Now this is probably the best option for what we have to look at today for those of you with butterfingers. This one has got, like a rubber, classic kind of case, but then on the back it's got Blackbrook's really nice full grain leather here on the back. And it is like padded as well, so it definitely feels substantial. It's not like they just took a rubber case and slapped like a thin piece of leather on the back and called it a day. Like, it's actually padded, kind of like the watch band that we looked at a few weeks ago. Like, this is still my daily driver watch band from Blackbrook. I love this thing, and it's kind of the same like padded leather that's like on this watch band, and it's the same deal here on the back. And one thing I forgot to mention is like there's different colors as well. We've got a couple different options to check out here. So don't think it's like just the color of like what I'm showing you. There's a lot of different options for each one that we're going through. So keep that in mind. This one's kind of their like coffee brown. And again, it's just kind of your regular like drop protection style case. Let's grab the S23 Ultra, drop it in here, check how it fits. So it drops right on, super easy to put on. On the front, we've got good protection all the way around the edges. On the back, it is raised enough to protect your camera lenses, and especially that like padded leather helps you there too. So that's good to go. Taking a look at the bottom, you got all your cutouts for your charging port, your speaker, and your S Pen. Now for the charging port, I would like it to be a tiny bit bigger, I think, because they've got like separate cutouts for these holes down here by the charging port. I think I'd rather just see it open. You guys have heard me talk about this before. Like charging cables, sometimes they have like thick ends if you get like generic ones. They don't always fit in these smaller charging ports. Now, I don't think it's an issue. I'm just saying I probably would rather it just be a little bit more open, but I don't think it's a problem. Just a thought. Let's check the S Pen, see how easy that is to get in and out. So we can press it in well enough, and right when it's depressed and it's popped out there, it rises above the case, so super easy to get out and super easy to put back in. Taking a look at the front again, drop protection all the way around. You don't really get a feeling of the curved edge with this one, so some of you who hate the curve, this might be a good one for you to go with, because it basically eliminates it with the drop protection here. So if that's something you want, this might be a good way to go. All the buttons feel really good. They feel like perfect extensions of the button that's underneath them. A lot of times with these cases that cover buttons, they can like feel kind of mushy and like there's a gap there. These feel like they're dead on, so they feel really nice. And that's pretty much everything to say about the York. So this is a good one if you just want like a relatively slim drop protection style case. All the corners are nice and built up. Like it feels really protective. So if you want a nice protective case, but you want to dress it up a little bit and you want a nice, padded leather back, this is a good one to go with. So definitely check this one out. This is the York. Now let's move on to something that's a little bit slimmer profile for those of you who don't necessarily need the drop protection. This one is the Barlow. We've got this one in pebble black. This one slaps right on the back. Now, since I got these here to check out in the studio, this one has been my daily driver. Apart from the other ones for testing, this is kind of the one that I keep coming back to. And I think there's a couple reasons for that. So personally, I like the super slim profile. Now, you don't get a lot of front drop protection with this one. There is a lip on the top and the bottom, but this one leaves the curved edges exposed. So I personally like the curve. I think I'm the only one that does, judging by all the videos that I see out there. People really hate the curve. I don't get why. I love it. This one leaves it exposed. So if you do like the curved edge of the Ultra series, this is a good one to go with. So this one basically covers up the back. And so you do get some drop protection, like all the corners are covered, the back's covered. You do get some front protection as well on the top and bottom. It's just really the curved parts that are exposed. So this is a good one if you know that you don't really have butterfingers, if you don't drop your phone a lot, and it's just that occasional maybe oops, this is a good one to go with. And again, it keeps it super slim. It adds basically nothing to the phone. Also, what's kind of nice is this one has a nice, like it dresses up the camera array. It's got this really nice kind of accent plate here on the back, and that gives you again some protection for your lenses because it brings the surface out a little bit. So now all of the lenses are recessed into the case, but then this metal accent looks really good, I think. So again, this one is the Barlow. So definitely my favorite of the bunch. The only critique I have about the Barlow, and again, this is still my favorite one of the bunch, but the only critique I have is that the S Pen part on this one is a little bit tougher to get in and out. The York was about perfect. On the Barlow here, it does take a tiny bit of effort to get in there. If you have like a little bit of a fingernail, that helps a lot. But if you keep your fingernails, really cut down, it's a tiny bit tough to get it out. So I think I would have liked to have a bit of a deeper recess or something like that over the S Pen. It's not a deal killer for me because it's not a huge deal. It's harder to get in and out compared to like the York or something like that. So again, not a deal killer. I just think I would have liked a little bit more of a recess, maybe a cutout here at the back, just something to make the S Pen a little bit easier to get in and out. But again, I use my S Pen, I don't want to say a lot, but like frequently enough. And it was something I noticed. So again, not a big deal. Like you can see me, I'm getting it in and out of here. So it's not a super big deal. You just kind of have to get in there. So anyway, that's the Barlow for the S23 Ultra. Now this is more your wallet case. We've looked at stuff like this from Blackbrook before too. I really like these folio combo cases. So taking a look at this one. So this is probably one of the nicer ones that we have to look at today. Again, you've got the same full grain leather all the way around. Super smooth. This stuff feels incredible. It's really nice. Let's see. Yep, it's got that full grain leather smell. So taking a look at the outside, this one's the burnished tan, which is personally my favorite color. Again, super smooth here on the back. And one thing about this full grain leather is it could develop a nice patina over time. That's one of the characteristics of nice full grain leather, and that's one reason that a lot of people like it, is that it kind of develops a story over time. So it's not necessarily going to look exactly the same if you keep it for a really long time. It might develop kind of a nice, like I said, a patina as you use it. So taking a look, again, this one is the nice burnished tan, so very nice on the outside. On the inside, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 card sliders, and then this one has a thumb slider if you need to get like an ID in and out or something like that. Nice, tasteful company branding here at the top. And then you've got another slot for cash, tickets, really whatever you want to put on the inside there. And then here is your phone holder, and one thing that I really like about Blackbrook is they've done this part really well, where the interior case just detaches. Super easy. It's got nice magnets in there to just snap it back into place. Why I really like that is I've had like wallet folio cases for years. It's just something I really like. Sometimes when I dress up, like I might go for like the super slim, like the Barlow. Sometimes I might like that, but other times I might want a wallet folio case like this because while, yes, it's a little bit bulkier than the phone itself, it might mean that I can leave my wallet at home and get rid of that. So now I go from having a phone and a wallet to just this. So like if I'm going out for the night, I might put like just a payment card and an ID and call it a day. So that's one reason why I really like having a folio case on hand. And again, it's super nice that the phone itself just kind of comes in and out like this. And what's also nice about that is you're basically getting 2 cases in one. So a lot of times with these folio cases, they will like glue the holder into this part. And I think that's just because it's probably cheaper. Then they don't have to bother making this nice. They can just like get, a rubber or whatever holder, and they just glue it in, and then they only have to worry about this part of it. What I like about Blackbrook, again, if you get this one, this is the Carson, you're getting 2 cases in one. You could put this part wherever you want and then just do this every day if that's what you wanted to do, and then just kind of keep this on hand for when that's what you want to do. And in fact, that's what I've been doing with my iPhone lately. Like, this is the same deal for the iPhone. This is the interior case for my Carson on that one. But some days, this is just what I rock. And that's just what I just run around like that. And then when I want the folio case, I just go grab it and put it on. One thing about the S23 Ultra version is, like, the iPhone version, like, snaps into place, and I think that's because Apple has really done well with the MagSafe. They've made that part easy. It's not exactly the same, so this one doesn't like snap in like the iPhone one does, but it is pretty good. What I like to do is, you know, it gets it pretty close. I like to just use the camera array to kind of just line it up. It takes like 3 seconds, and then you're good to go. If you do load up, you know, a bunch of cards on this interior flap, it's going to sit up a little bit, so it's nice to have a magnetic closure to keep everything nice and organized. Now, there's one thing to talk about with the magnetic closure on the S23 Ultra. Now, this is not specific to Blackbrook. It's nothing they did wrong or anything like that. It's just a fact with any folio case with a magnetic closure on the S23 Ultra specifically. So if you're an S Pen user, this is something to consider. If you don't really care for the S Pen, if you just get the Ultra because it's the biggest screen and like the highest spec and everything, if you don't care about the S Pen, you could skip this part. But there's a thing with a magnetic closure case with the S23 Ultra. So the S Pen itself works on a magnetic field. That's part of how it works. And having a magnet this close to the screen screws with it. So what will happen if you have the phone in the case like this, let's say you take out your pen and you start to write and do whatever you're gonna do, you basically have a dead zone all right here, a huge chunk of the screen. And that's because the magnet is throwing everything off. So that's just something to keep in mind. Again, that's not Blackbrook. It's not anything they did wrong. If you get any case like this, I had one of just a different brand. I had one for my S22 Ultra, same thing. It's because there's a magnet in here and it screws with the little field, and the S Pen just doesn't like it. It gets angry. So it's just something to think about. If you use your S Pen a ton or just on occasion or whatever, basically all it means is that when you want to use your S Pen, you just have to take it out of the case. That's all it means. So relatively easy fix. I think if I was going to tell Blackbrook anything, it might be if they were going to do a different version or something, just use like a snap or something like that. Don't do the magnet, because the magnet is what throws it off. If this was just like a regular button snap or just a loop, you know, if there was like a leather loop here on the front, you could just tuck the strap in and hold it together that way. Basically anything besides a magnet, because that's what throws it off. So just something to keep in mind. Let's take a look at this case itself, because again, you're getting kind of 2 in 1. This one's the burnished tan. So a nice slim profile, which is good if you're gonna pair it up with the flap here for a folio. You want this part to be super slim. And this is kind of a good middle ground between the others that we looked at here, with the Barlow being super slim and the York being a little bit more of a drop protection style case. This one is kind of in between, in that you could totally run around with this just all day as your main case. It does have some protection around the front, the top and the bottom. There's really not a lot there, not enough to care about or count really. It's mostly on the back and the corners. You're pretty covered there. And then this does leave the curved part exposed as well, which again, I like. And all of you people who hate the curved screen, I don't care. But this one does leave it exposed. The buttons feel really good. Again, really tactile. Blackbrook has always done well with that. Let's take a look at the bottom. So again, I think this is what I was talking about earlier. This is what I prefer. If we look at like the York, the cutout was a lot smaller. On this one, it's a lot more open. Like, this is exactly what I was talking about. This is what I would prefer. Just have it open. It just fits more cables better. There's less to go wrong there. So this is what I do like. They've got, of course, cutouts for the speaker and everything. Let's test the S Pen. It does seem a lot more recessed than the Barlow. Yeah, super easy to get in and out. One thing to think about that like makes that super easy is when it pops out, if it then sticks up above the case, you're good to go, because it's super easy to get in and out from there. You can just press it, it pops up, use your thumbnail, get it out of there. So super good to go there. So again, that case looks really good. And then when you want to use your wallet folio, you drop her in there, line it up, you're good to go for a night out on the town. So that's the Carson. Again, links for all of these will be down in the description for you to check out as always. And that's what we have to check out on this episode from Blackbrook. So a lot of different things here, a little bit something different for everybody. What I want to know from you all is which one of these was your favorite. We looked at a lot of different colors, the burnished tan, black, the antique coffee brown. All of these are really nice full grain leather products from Blackbrook for your S23 Ultra. But again, they make all of these for the whole S23 series, and a lot of these have a similar counterpart to the iPhone models as well. So definitely check those links down in the description. Use code SLICKREVIEWS at checkout for an exclusive discount. But what I would really like to hear from you all down in the comments is which one of these was your favorite? Like, which do you think is good for what? Like, do you think the Barlow is the best for going out on the town? I kind of like this one because it's super slim, easy to put in a pocket. But then if you grab something like the Carson, maybe you could leave your wallet at home and just take this. So what I want to know from you all is which one is your favorite? Which colors do you like? Let us know down in the comments. But if you have any other comments or questions, please leave them down below. I like to hear from everybody. And if you'd like to get in touch, all of my social media links are down in the description as well. And last, before we go, if you enjoy straightforward, to the point content like this where we find great deals online from well-known and upcoming brands, make sure to leave the video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Pretty easy and free ways to help support the channel. That's all I've got for you this time. I'm Zach, this is Slick Reviews, and I'll see you in the next video. This review was completed following several weeks for the product sample provided by the manufacturer. No compensation was provided, and the manufacturer was not allowed editorial input, copy approval, or an early preview. To see more videos like this, please consider subscribing to the channel.